And I'm here to go over my empties for the week. I'm trying to arrange some things. I don't have a lot. It's only been a week. But I'm proud of what I've gotten through, and I want to go over it with you. So I am going to start with non-wax items. I have my weekly cotton cleanup. You will see a diamond drill stick to it over here. A couple of weeks ago I did a video. It was about a half hour long. If you've not watched it, please go back and watch that. Talking about some changes and some growth that are going to come to the channel. One of those is I'm going to start showing a lot more of my hobbies and crafts. And a big part of that is my diamond art. And if I have a random drill that I don't remember what color it goes to or whatever, I often will just throw it in the trash over here. That is where my empties collect. And so they will sometimes get stuck into wax. But that is that. And I have a wallflower bulb and strawberry pound cake that I had put the end of into my diffuser. And this, you see a little bit of color in there. That's just staining. I have tried. There is a tiny little bit of oil, but not even enough that it will shake out. It's just stained it. Strawberry pound cake was in here in the library. It's been replaced with one called Caribbean Sleigh Ride. You'll hear about in a few weeks. But before that, you'll hear about a couple more that I've taken from other wallflower plugs in the house. That is that stuff. Then I have this sample packet of Jamberry Nourish, which is was our hand cream formula when I was with Jamberry. But if you know anything about creams like that, a good hand cream can be used anywhere. Especially one that is unscented like Nourish is. This was a sample packet. I have a handful more of these sample packets. And then I have one tube of Nourish cream. These are unscented. I'm currently using Japanese cherry blossom in my shower. I have gone through and I don't know if you can see my little chippy. Our American Cocker Spaniel, you can probably see him through the gate. He's up on our sofa, the top of our sofa, through that gate. I'm using Japanese cherry blossom in my shower currently. I did not have Japanese cherry blossom lotion to go with it. I used those 2 pieces of tubes of Donna Karen's Cashmere Mist, which was a scent that blended beautifully, but then I was just like, what other lotions can I use with this? And my unscented Nourish things seemed like the next logical thing to use up. So I did finish this sample packet. I did pack it in one shower. Now, we've been in missions conference at my church this week, which means that when I take my showers, I'm then putting on real clothes to get ready to go to church. As you can see, I'm still dressed in like decent clothes, which you guys don't normally see. Because you normally see me after I've had my shower and I'm in my pajamas for the evening. But I came in from our international supper tonight and just decided to film while I was still looking decent. I've still got makeup and everything on. Y'all never see this, so surprise, I really can dress up. But when I am putting real clothes on after a shower, I do not like to put lotion on. Because I don't like that. I mean, I can dry my hair and any dampness from water will dry, but the dampness that is sometimes left from lotion will not dry. So I don't like to put lotion on unless I'm going into pajamas. On Monday night, when I was going to shower, we did not have missions conference. Our missions conference was Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, tonight, and then we'll close it out tomorrow morning with our regular service. With our regular Sunday morning service. We also, you guys know, we also have Sunday evening service, but technically that will no longer be missions conference, which is very sad for me. Missions conference is one of my favorite special events that we do every year. And it's hard because these missionaries are dear friends and it is hard to let them go. But I understand they have to go to present their work to other churches so that they can raise more support, so they can get to their field, so they can do the work God has called them to do. But it is still very hard to let them go. But I love missions conference, but having to get in real clothes every day, I'm not loving, to be honest. But Monday night, when I finished my shower, I did use this sample packet of Nourish. It is technically unscented. It has just the lightest citrus scent to it. Jamberry is no longer a company, so I cannot tell you where to get Nourish lotion because it does not really exist anymore. So I'm just using up what I have. I have a few more sample packets, and I have one full-size tube of the Nourish lotion, and then I have one tube that I just put in the shower today of our sugar scrub that's called Buff. I love sugar scrubs, and I honestly forgot I had that tube of Buff, so I am very excited to have that. Anyway, those are the non-wax things I went through. Now we're going to go quickly through some wax. I'm going to try to slow down. It's been a day. One day in my bedroom, one day during missions conference, because we'd been home, so I could be at missions conference every night. Rita's, my Angels Care team has been amazing to make sure that nothing interfered with us being at missions conference. One night, just to use it up, I didn't think this would be appropriate in the bathroom, and there were not two of them, so I couldn't really put them in the library. I did Southern Sweet Tea. I have never known this to be available for purchase, but it was in a set of testers that I was given when we were doing the plastic collection for Mexico for the Cancer Center. And I was sent between different consultants who were, just had a ton of tester sets, and they were wanting to offload some old ones. I was sent probably 15 sets of testers, and this was one that was inside of one of those sets of a scent that I've never seen, and so I didn't want to even ask even some of my church friends to warm this for me, because I did hand out some testers and say, warm this for me and then bring me the container back. And I did that with some that I knew they could still purchase the scent. But I didn't want to do that with this because I knew they couldn't get it. So I just got around to using this the other day. It honestly smelled nothing like true Southern Sweet Tea, but it didn't smell bad. I don't really know how to describe what it did smell like. All I know is it really wasn't the smell of tea, but it was nice, and we used it up. The others that I have here, I have done in the bathroom. We did hibiscus pineapple. This is beautiful. This is currently available. But I'm just going through some testers. Y'all know. We did Peace Lily Be With You. This is no longer available. This was last year or the year before. I think it was the year before last. This was a new spring-summer scent. This is beautiful. You know the drill. February and March, and heck, part of April too. We try to keep florals. Not as much in April, because I do other special things for Rita. But February and March, we try to keep floral somewhere for her, for Mama Evelyn's memory. And so I have done that. Hibiscus pineapple, we have the hibiscus flower in. Peace Lily be with you. There's Lily in there. And then today, what I have in the bathroom is totally mini. This puts me in mind of Bath & Body's Sweet Pea. It's very similar to our bar that's been in Bring Back My Bar multiple times, Sweet Pea and Vanilla. But has just a little extra sweetness, almost like it's mixed with pink sugar. But I put that in because the Sweet Pea, like, there's petals in there, so I figured that would work. And that is currently in the bathroom. Those are the 4 testers that I've gone through this week. And I finished up 2 of last year's Valentine's bars. I finished Peppered with Kisses and Sweetheart Sugar Cookie. And honestly, Peppered with Kisses is very much a Valentine's scent, but it probably would have been more of a favorite if it had been a little cooler when I was doing it, because it is a little bit of a warmer scent. But I have my little cheap thing here. Apricot Cloud we talked about last week because I had finished that one. Peppered with Kisses is hibiscus with a kiss of pink pepper. Brings the heat to exotic lychee and wild raspberry. And maybe it's the raspberry because I'm not the biggest fan of raspberry. That's kind of throwing me off in that a little bit. But again, the hibiscus flower in there gave us the floral. And in the Apricot Cloud, we had, if you'll remember from last week, the Apricot Cloud bar had Lily of the Valley, so that gave us the floral. Now, Sweetheart Sugar Cookie did not have the floral. That's why I was making sure that the testers had floral in them. Sweetheart Sugar Cookie is sweet cherry and green pistachios baked into warm vanilla bean and sugared musk. The sugared musk. Oh my word. I will say without a doubt, Sweetheart Sugar Cookie was my favorite of the trio. I do have one more trio. It has not been purchased. I keep thinking it's going to be purchased away from me, but it has not been yet. I do have one more trio, and I will say, if no one purchases it, I will warm these bars again next year for Valentine's Day. All 3 of them, I love them. They are beautiful. I will warm them the entire month of February. Which honestly, if we had not taken our Disney trip and been gone like we were, I probably would have finished the trio completely in the month of February, or at least been very close to it. Not been halfway through March before I finished 2 of the bars. But we did take a trip, and I'm glad we did, because oh my word, the things, it looked for a while like it might not happen, and thank God it got to happen, that we got to go on this trip and check off some bucket list items. Next year, though, I will plan, if that trio has not been bought out from under me, I will warm that trio starting February 1st. That will be what I warm until they're gone, is that trio. Because they were all beautiful. Just Sweetheart Sugar Cookie was by far my favorite. But the entire trio is beautiful, and I am so glad to have gone through it. Now, I did save the little bag over here. I'm going to do something I don't normally do. I'm going to show y'all. I've decided I want to try to go through most of my partial bars. So or at least my partial bars that are seasonally appropriate. So I pulled out some partials. Like I have a half a bar here of Maleficent, Mistress of Evil. I know those are they're more often released in the fall, but to me, this is very spring appropriate. The fruitiness of it. And I have a half a bar here, so I'm going to use that up. And then I have a half a bar of hibiscus pineapple, one that I just did in a tester. I love that scent. I'm glad it's still available. Probably should not have done the tester with it being available, but I did. I did it before I thought about it. But I'm going to go through that half of a bar. And then I do have, this is more than half a bar, but it's because I just opened it before we left for Disney. My Snow White. Kind Heart. She is my favorite princess. Y'all know this. If you have been around my channel, you know Snow White is my favorite. And you know all the excitement that I had when Snow White was coming out. This clamshell is broken, so it's hard to get into. But I will go through this, and this is very floral as well. There's apple, there's lily, it's Lily of the Valley in here too, which I don't know. Lately, I'm hooked on that Lily of the Valley note. And it works because it gives Rita her floral for Mama too. So, and I tell her all the time, we always do florals for Mama Evelyn. So, I'm going to go through these 3 partial bars. So, I just kept the bag. And I put these bars in here, and I have a shelf on the desk. And the bag is just tucked into the shelf, because it gives me an easy place to come to, especially for use in the library where I'm using 2 cubes at a time. Partial bars are easy to get through. Now, I probably will not often do Snow White in the library because I do want to preserve what I have of that. What I have, and I have more than just the 7 cubes, but what I have has to last me until almost the end of this year. So I'm probably not going to often warm that in the library. But these other ones, like half a bar, that's 2 warms in the library. I will not do them back to back, but I will do them like, do Mistress of Evil, do Hibiscus Pineapple, do Mistress of Evil, do Hibiscus Pineapple, and those 2 will be gone. So and then I'll be able to pull out other partials, which I don't think I have any more half bars that are appropriate, but I have lots of like 6 and 7 cubes that are appropriate. So that's what I'm going to do. And I have lots of testers, as you can see, lined up behind me, that I have every single one of those. It's double stacked, but it's stacked with one that is identical to it. So I'm going to use up those duplicates of testers, like in the library, and I'll do like those first 2 that I can see. That light green I know is Mad for Melon. So one day the library will be Mad for Melon, and then that will be gone. Like, I have a plan. I'm going to work through a lot of my excess and a lot of my partial stuff and small amounts of things this year to just reduce my numbers, because I love my wax and I am in no way overwhelmed with what I have, but my family they're like, slow down on the wax. So I am trying to just go through what I have, and I'm going through even my vendor wax. Like, I'm just going with small amounts of things. I have lots of vendor things that are close to empty that you're soon going to hear about. And a lot of that I won't be replacing. At least not anytime soon. Like, I will have one order that'll come in from Scentsy this fall. But until then, I won't be replacing a single piece of wax in this house. And I'm interested to see how much I can get through before the fall rolls in. And I do have an order from Scentsy that'll come in, and then some fall scents that a friend is holding on to for me that she's going to send me. I do have a few bars that some of them would be seasonally appropriate that a friend is holding on to for me. But again, it may be a couple of months before she is even able to send those to me. So I'm just trying to work through what I have so that I can reduce my numbers, so that as things do come in that I know I'm going to get 2 to 3 boxes over the course of this year. And I would like to have things cleared out so I have room to actually put those things where my family knows there's wax. Before they lose their mind about the amount of wax I have. But anyway, that is what I have for you this week. I know I rambled. I always ramble here at the end. But that is what I have for you this week. And until I see you again, my friends, please remember that I love you. And please, have a blessed day on purpose.